Hello, how you doing? Welcome back to another video. In this one I'm going to be reacting to my Premier League predictions for the 1920 season. This is a video that quite a few of you have messaged me asking for, and it seems to be creeping into the realm of actual football YouTubers. This seems to be something that a lot of them do, and I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. Why not? Last season was the first time that I'd done predictions on this channel, so why not go back through and see just how little I do know about football. Obviously I didn't predict that there was going to be a COVID-19 outbreak and that football would stop. I don't think anyone did. In fact, if there were any YouTubers who did predict that, then I would seriously start to question who their contacts are, because no one should have known that. So obviously I didn't know the season was going to last for a year. I didn't know there'd be a 3-month break and there'd be no football, and that the Champions League would still be happening in mid-August, which is mad. So obviously I was assuming the season would start in August and finish in May. So let's just get that one out of the way. No one's predicting that, so I don't think I should get a point taken off for that, surely. So if you are new here, welcome. Hope you like what I've done with the place. And please subscribe to the channel if you are new. I do lots of football content, mostly parody songs. So if you like that kind of thing, this is the place for you. So please do subscribe. And why not drop a like on the video? Just, click now, drop a like. It's out the way. It's done then. Then you can enjoy the video. So let's just delve in and see what nonsense I made up about 11 months ago.
Do you know what the best thing about my channel is? I never get trolled. You guys are so nice to me and it's amazing. So I thought, how can I ruin that? I know I'll annoy everyone by doing my Premier League predictions for the 1920 season.
Okay, so first difference, obviously I'm wearing last season's Where the Headers Fleetwood t-shirt, and these are the new ones made by podmerch.co.uk, who are brilliant. I love them. I think the design is fantastic. As you can see, I've also got a Do Not Call the Forest Knots t-shirt. These are the two designs that I've got available at the moment, and it's not just t-shirts, they're on hoodies, they're on sweatshirts, they're on baseball tees, they're on mugs, they're on tote bags, they're on baby grows, for the baby in your life that's a big Jim Daly fan. Everything is available. There's a link below this video now if you want to buy any of those things. I think they're pretty reasonably priced and they're very good quality as well. So dip in the link below, pick out what you want. There's so many different colours as well. So yeah, I would really appreciate it if you bought some of my branded merchandise. Okay, so that's the first difference from last season's video. Let's see what else we got. Hold it there. Before we start, I just want to say that maths is not my strong point, and for some reason I picked a really complicated point scoring system for this video that I definitely won't do next year. And you'll notice that the things I say on screen and the number in the bottom of the screen there don't add up. That's because when I was editing this video, I realised that I'd got some of the numbers wrong. I'm not miles away, I'm about 2 or 3 points away, but just to let you know that I am aware that they don't add up. Because I'm not very good at maths, which is weird because my dad's an accountant, so go figure. Anyway, just want to make you aware of that. So anyway, let's crack on with the video.
Right, on with the predictions. We're going to go from 20th all the way to the top, starting with Sheffield United. Nice club, nice city, nice fans, nice kit. No chance.
Okay, so straight off the bat, I've started badly. I predicted Sheffield United to come bottom, 20th. They came 8th. That's a 12-place swing. So, do you know what, actually? I'm going to do a point system for this video. I know a lot of other YouTubers do this, so I might as well do the same. I'm going to give myself 3 points for a correct place finish, 1 point for one place either side, and then however far I am away, if I get it wrong, I'm going to give myself minus that many points. So I'm starting off with a 12-point deficit, which is not it's like I've been in administration. That's not a good start. But you know what? I deserve it because I didn't do my research on Sheffield United. I mean, I will say I wasn't the only YouTuber to get them wrong. Pretty much everyone had them coming bottom in their predicted tables. But we all didn't do the research. The previous season, Sheffield United had one of the best defences in the Championship. And it's actually defences that get you places in the Premier League. It's way easier to buy firepower than it is to buy good defenders. And that's why Sheffield United did so well this season. Their defence was incredible. And they didn't win many games by lots of goals, but they had that solid base, and that's how they did so well this season. And that's why, and I will do a prediction video at some point, I think Leeds will do well this season because their defence was very good last season in the Championship. So look, if I'd have done that research, I'd have known that Sheffield United would probably do okay. So I got this one very wrong. I hold my hands up. Fair play, Chris Wilder. Absolutely amazing job. Fair play to the Sheffield United team, who did fantastically in transitioning in the Premier League. Lord Lundstrom got me so many points at fantasy football. So well done to them. It's a bad start for me, minus 12 points already. But I have to say, Sheffield United did fantastically.
In 19th place, Norwich City. Now, I like Norwich. I really do. And I really like their manager, Daniel Farke. I mean, I even named my fantasy team Baby Farke do after him.
Okay, so a few things I got wrong here with Norwich. I did predict that they would go down, and they did. But I was one place out. So I'm going to give myself a point there. That's minus 11 I'm up to. The comeback is on. I also called my fantasy team Baby Farke, which in hindsight is a terrible name. This season I've gone for, well, this season my working title is Werner Brothers. Also not great. Going on the Sheffield United model of a good defence, Norwich, their defence struggled this season. And yes, they had firepower. Pukki scored loads of goals in the Championship, but he couldn't quite do it in the Premier League. And if you can't score goals and keep them out, you're going to struggle. So I think I was quite right with saying that they go down, and I was one place out. So that's not too bad. I'm taking that as a win. It may well be one of the few wins I've got on this video. But yeah, shame to see them go down. I do like Norwich. I like them as a team. And they played some fantastic football. Had some great results. Beating Man City, what a great result. But yeah, it was just a step too far for them, unfortunately. So yeah, I had them in 19th place. They finished 20th. So not too bad.
And the final relegation place will go to, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Crystal Palace fan, Brighton and Hove Albion in 18th place. Brighton have only won 2 league games in 2019 so far, and in fact the last one of them was back in March, and that was against, oh, God's sake, Crystal Palace.
Okay, so I may have got a bit too personal with this one because being a Crystal Palace fan, obviously I'd love to see Brighton get relegated, and I predicted them to take that final relegation spot in 18th. They finished 15th in the end, so they weren't miles away. They finished 7 points above the drop, so actually that's pretty good. 41 points total, and I have to hand it to Brighton. When they came up a couple of seasons ago, I thought they'd go straight back down. They've done okay. Their recruitment has been hit and miss, but players last season like Aaron Moy and Trossard and Mopé, they've been pretty good. And then bringing in youngsters like Connolly, they've done well. Look, it pains me as a Palace fan to give Brighton praise, but they've done okay. And maybe next season, you know what, I'll predict them to maybe do better, because I think they've probably earned it. I know most of their fans still support Chelsea and Arsenal, and that's an issue for another day, but I think I let my personal, my personal Palace connection sway me on this one. So I was 3 places out with Brighton, so that takes my score from 11 from minus 11 to minus 14. Not doing well.
Just staying up in 17th place, Newcastle United. This team. Just when you think they've run out of crazy, they just step it up a notch. Newcastle appointed Steve Bruce to replace popular manager Rafa Benitez at St James's Park. Why? I just don't think it's going to work out. 1, he's a terrible manager. 2, he used to manage bitter rival Sunderland. 3, he's a terrible manager. I honestly think the guy that tried to punch a horse would have been a more popular appointment.
Okay, so you can see why I thought Newcastle might go down last season. Steve Bruce, wasn't the sexiest of appointments, but to be fair to him, he did do very well. Yes, they had a misfiring striker in Joe Linton, but in Alan St Maximin, they had someone who really turned it on. And their defence was quite good as well, so do you know what? Fair play. I had them in 17th place, just avoiding the drop. They finished 13th, 4 places higher, and they did very well. And I do like Newcastle. They're a club that I want to see doing well. Fantastic fan base, always a great away day. So I'm pleased they stayed up, but maybe I should have given them a bit more credit as well. So that takes my score, another 3 places out. That takes my score to -17. I'm not very good at this, am I?
In 16th place, Southampton. They looked quite good at the end of last season under that guy. They're in those group of teams that probably won't do much this season, but probably won't get dragged into the bottom 3, but you never know in the Premier League.
Okay, so I was kind of right here when I said that they'd be in that middle group of teams that wouldn't get dragged into the bottom 3, but I did have them a bit low in 16th place. Southampton came 11th in the end. And who would have predicted that after they lost 9-0 to Leicester earlier in the season? In fact, I think their form post that game was actually better than Leicester's, which is absolutely mad. And Hasenhüttl, I at least learnt to say his name properly, did a fantastic job. I actually think this coming season, Southampton could actually be a bit of a dark horse because they finished lockdown really well. And Danny Ings, they got such a great striker who really knows where the back of the net is. So they've sold Højbjerg obviously to Spurs, but yeah, they did really well. So fair play to Southampton. Another team that I really like as well. I went to university in Southampton for 3 years, so got a soft spot for them. But yeah, well done to Southampton. So 16th I had them, 11th they finished. That's -5 points. So I'm now on -22. This isn't going to look good for me. If I can claw this back to end up, I'm not going to end up in positive numbers, am I? Why am I doing this video?
In 15th place, Aston Villa. Newly promoted Aston Villa are back in the Premier League and they've had a very busy summer indeed. They so far signed 11 new players, which is basically enough for a whole new team.
Okay, so I wasn't too far away with this one. I thought Villa would just survive, and they did on the last day of the season. They came 17th, I had them in 15th. So I wasn't far out with this one. Unfortunately, I do get a -1 point because of my own stupid point system that I've imposed on this video. Taking me to -23, but I wasn't too far away there. They did just have enough quality to stay up. Jack Grealish was fantastic for them this season, but they did struggle. But they did okay. And fair play to Dean Smith. I think he's proving himself at this level. Next season, who knows what will happen with Villa? But I'm gonna tentatively chalk this one up to a win, even though technically it scored me a -1 point. I need to probably change the scoring system on this, don't I? I've got this very wrong. But yeah, I wasn't too far away with Villa there. Okay, let's see who I predicted to come 14th.
In 14th place, Burnley. Burnley. I mean, it's kind of weird, isn't it, that Burnley are just seen as like a regular Premier League club these days. I mean, it's Burnley.
It's a fair point. It is Burnley. But they did fantastic this season. Sean Dyche done a brilliant job of them. They came 10th, top 10 for the Clarets, and I had them down as 14th. So 4 points out, -27 I'm on now. But they've done very well. They're not the sexiest team, but they're robust and they know what they're good at. And they had a fantastic defence and goalkeeper. Nick Pope, I think, is one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. I've met Nick Pope actually once at Burnley Palace a couple of years ago. Very nice guy as well. So well done to Burnley. I had them around again mid-table, around that sort of that mid-table point. But I didn't think they'd come top 10. I don't think many people did. So fair play to Burnley. Well done. Not great for my point system though.
In 13th place, Watford. Okay, so everyone from about 13th to 10th is pretty much of a muchness. So you could move them all about and they'll probably end up there at the end of this season. I put Watford in 13th place because of my intense hatred of Elton John.
I don't really hate Elton John. I think he's a national treasure and one of the best musicians this country has ever produced, apart from me, obviously. So I was 6 places out with Watford, which takes me to -33. I don't think many people predicted Watford to go down, did they, this season? Like they've got a good squad, and yes, they've had about 20 managers this season, but they've all been quite good managers. So a bit of a weird one, Watford, slipping out of the league at this. You thought over the last couple of years that they'd sort of worked out how to play the Premier League game, but unfortunately it didn't work out for them. I think losing Delafeu to injury did not help at all. So it'll be interesting to see whether they can bounce back or not, Watford. Another club that I don't, as a Palace fan, I'm supposed to hate them. There's this weird rivalry between Palace and Watford. But they are my local team. I don't live far away from Vicarage Road. And I think they're okay. And they've got some very good players in that squad. So yeah, this one was a shock. And again, I don't think many people would have had Watford to go down. But I had them in 13th, and unfortunately they finished 19th. Shame.
In 12th position, Bournemouth. Did you know that Bournemouth let in 70 goals last season? 70! Only Huddersfield and Fulham let in more. That's not good.
Okay, so I gave myself a big clue in this video as to what will happen to Bournemouth. I said they let in a lot of goals. And they do, and they did, and that's why they went down. They actually got relegated in 18th place, and I had them in 12th. That's 6 places difference. It means I'm now on 39, minus 39 points. But there we go again. That was a big clue as to why teams don't survive in the Premier League. If you let in a lot of goals, it's going to be very hard to counteract that at the top end of the pitch, unless you've got a striker who guarantees you 30 goals a season, and not even the top teams can do that. So I need to listen to myself a bit more there. I should have not had Bournemouth anywhere near 12th place, and it proved to be the case. Goodbye Bournemouth, goodbye Eddie Howe. Who knows if we'll see them again. Right, who do I have in 11th place?
In 11th place, Wolves. On account of them being in the Europa League qualifiers and the fact that they can't be as good as last season. Can they?
Okay, so Wolves fans, if you're watching, I massively underestimated how good your squad is and how well you'd do this season. I thought, having just come up and done really well the previous season, the added pressure of the Europa League would take its toll. But you guys did fantastic. I mean, you barely had any injuries. The likes of Traore, who were managed very well actually, were superb. Jimenez was excellent. Doherty was excellent. Cody and Bolly at the back. I mean, your midfielders, Moutinho. You've got some great players in there. Jota, who I think is massively underrated. Wolves did really well. So I had them down as 11th, and they came 7th. That's a 4-point swing, and takes me to minus 43. I might stop mentioning the points actually at this point. But Wolves did fantastic. And again, next season, I expect Wolves to do well again. Again, their recruitment policy seems to be really good. They just seem to find these gems and know that they're ready for the Premier League. And if Jimenez continues to score goals, I think Wolves will do well again. So, Wolves fans, I apologise for underestimating your team. You did really well. In 10th place, a familiar team.
Crystal Palace. Ah, my beloved Palace. Their season hinges on 2 things. 1, Wilfried Zaha either going or leaving. And 2, Roy Hodgson either picking or not picking fights with mascots again.
Well, I'm pleased to say that Roy Hodgson didn't pick any fights with any mascots. That was great. And Wilf did stay, but didn't have the best season. I got a lot of stick in the comments of this video for putting Palace ahead of Wolves, and you guys were right to give me that stick, because we finished below Wolves and we didn't get top 10. Now, we nearly could have done. Our run before lockdown was very good, and then after beating Bournemouth in the first game post-lockdown, we actually weren't far away from a top 10 finish. Then, in classic Palace fashion, we completely screwed it up and lost 7 games on the bounce. So it didn't happen. In the end, we came 14th. So that's a 4-point swing, taking me to minus 47. But 14th, sort of 12th to 15th around there is pretty much where Palace deserve to be in terms of squad talent and spending. And I expect that's where we'll finish again this season if we have a good transfer window. So I'm not going to be as bullish in my prediction, I don't think, for Palace this season. I've definitely learnt my lesson on that one. I just let my heart rule my head. Is that so bad? Yes, it is.
In 9th position, West Ham United. I feel like being a West Ham fan is just a constant waking nightmare.
I'd forgotten about that Declan Rice clip. It's terrifying. And also, it's quite terrifying being a West Ham fan, I'd imagine. I mean, they should be finishing 9th, really, but they finished 16th this season. 7-point difference, which takes me to minus 54. West Ham, this happens every season at West Ham. They spend big in the summer, you think they're going to do really well, top 7, top 8, top 9, and then they end up 15th, 16th, and they'll probably do the same again this season. So West Ham fans, if you're watching, I feel for you. You should be doing better. But maybe for the coming prediction video, I will temper my prediction for West Ham, because you always seem to disappoint.
In 8th place, Everton. You know, for years, 7th place has pretty much been Everton's without much competition from anyone else. But last season, Wolves picked them to that spot after a fantastic campaign, having been promoted from the Championship. This time around, I think, unfortunately, Everton are going to lose out again to 7th spot.
Well, Everton did lose to 7th spot, but they also lost to 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th because they finished 12th, which, let's face it, is not good for a club of Everton's size and their spending. They should be finishing 8th and 7th and around there. So I'm not necessarily going to hammer myself too much for this one because I think a lot of people would predict them to finish 7th or 8th, and I think they'll be aiming for that again this season. But 12th is 4 points difference, so it takes me to minus 57. Why am I doing this points thing? And I'd imagine Everton fans, if you're watching, you'll be very disappointed with that. So let's hope for your sake that you do better this season. But yeah, 12th, not great. But I'm not going to blame myself too much for that one. That's on you guys. That's not on me.
In 7th place, Leicester. The arrival of Brendan, life-size portrait of myself in my own living room, Rogers, turned Leicester's fortunes around last season and they finished 9th. And after some seriously good spending this summer, the 1920 season could be a very big one for them.
Well, I kind of got that right. It was a big season for Leicester. In fact, they spent a lot of it in the Champions League spots, just at the end falling away and finishing 5th. And I had them 7th. So that's 2 places out. So technically a minus 1 point. I should probably change the point system to give myself a point for 2 places out, because that's not, I've happened a couple of times now. So that takes me to minus 58 on my point system. But I wasn't far away with Leicester. They did spend well. They did have a good season. They do have a good manager, and there's a lot of potential in that club and in that team. So I expect this season they'll be there or thereabouts as well, although we'll see how the European campaign impacts their squad. And Jamie Vardy is getting older. You know, he still scores goals, but he can't do that forever. And replacing him will be very hard as and when that happens. So I wasn't too far away with Leicester there. And I like Leicester a lot. So, well done, Brendan, I guess.
In 6th position, Chelsea. Last season, Chelsea finished 3rd under Maurizio Sarri. This season, they won't finish 3rd.
Well, I was right about that. They didn't finish 3rd. They finished 4th, and I had them as 6th. So again, 2 places out. I really need to change my point system. Frank Lampard did a great job with them this season. Young team. He sort of changed the identity of the whole team, changed the DNA. They got a young squad playing some great football. So Chelsea did really well. And I think they sort of won a lot of fans over, neutral fans that haven't necessarily liked Chelsea a lot in the last few decades. So, all right, they finished 4th. I had them as 6th. I wasn't far away with that one, and I expect them to be there or thereabouts. They might even get 3rd again, actually, this coming season. So, look, last 2, Chelsea and Leicester, I haven't been too far away, all right? So I'm trying to claw back some respectability, but my points now is minus 60, which isn't great. But I've not been too bad with these teams here. That's got to give myself the win somehow. Into top 5 now, and at 5 I had...
In 5th place, Arsenal. I don't think there'll ever be a time when Arsenal won't qualify for the Europa League. Just give in, guys. Some things are just meant to be. They've made a whole host of signings this season that no one has heard of. I mean, they could turn out to be absolutely amazing, but come on, I mean, this is Arsenal.
Again, I should have listened to myself on this one, because I had Arsenal as 5th and they came 8th. 3 point difference, minus 63 for me now. So well done, Jim, smashing this. It was a disappointing season for Arsenal. They should have done better. They spent a lot of money on Pepe, and he came good in the last kind of couple of games when the pressure was off. But I think a lot of Arsenal fans will be very disappointed with how they did this season. Although they did win the FA Cup. But unfortunately, I don't get any points for that. That wasn't part of my prediction video. So I think Arsenal fans will be hoping for better this coming season, because 8th is not really where a club of Arsenal's size should be. They should have been finishing 5th, really. So, you know, I'm going to give myself some credit there. If only football went how I predicted and it was that easy. Shame. Right, into the top 4.
In 4th place, Man United. Here we go. Top 4. This is where it starts to get interesting. And the only reason I've really put Man United in here to finish in the Champions League spot is just because I think it will annoy everyone. All those people that think Solskjaer is a fraud and...
Okay, so I had Man United at 4th and they came 3rd. That's a point for me. We're creeping back. It's now only minus 59. I suck at this. I I have to give credit to Solskjaer, because I actually, even doing that video last summer, putting them fourth, I wasn't necessarily sure that would happen, wasn't that confident. But he's done a good job. The likes of Rashford have been brilliant. Bruno Fernandes, what a great signing. Marcus Greenwood, done very well. I think next season United, could be aiming even higher. Could be aiming for third next season. Top two are probably sorted. But fair play to Man United. I'm not a massive Man United fan. I'm obviously a Palace fan, and we have our history of United. But it's interesting to see them getting back to the heights they used to have under Ferguson after a couple of terrible seasons in the wilderness. And they won me a point on my point system. So thank you very much, United.
In third place, Tottenham. This is a new dawn for Tottenham Hotspur. Champions League finalists, a brand spanking shiny new stadium, and they've actually signed someone. And yes, okay, Lucas Moura probably won't get anywhere near enough pitch time he deserves after single-handedly dragging Tottenham to Champions League final last season. But with a lack of real competition for third place, I think that's probably where Spurs are going to end up.
Okay, look, another one here where, I can't really blame myself, because I think everyone would have been expecting Tottenham to finish in the top four. Tottenham fans, you'd be expecting that, surely. You shouldn't be finishing sixth. That's a 3-point swing, which means I'm back up to minus 62. But Tottenham should be doing a lot better. Harry Kane's injury obviously did not help at all, and it proves how much you rely on him. I'm not too disappointed in myself with this one, because again, I think I was probably about right with my prediction. Well, I wasn't, because they literally didn't finish their gym, idiot. But Tottenham should be doing better than sixth, and I think this season again they'll be aiming higher than that. So 3 places out, it's not too bad. We now head into the top two. Again, a top two that I think everyone would have predicted at the start of the season. But did I get them the right way round?
And in second place, I'm going for Liverpool. Sorry, Liverpool fans. I just can't see Liverpool having another season like last year, unfortunately. Lightning doesn't strike twice.
Well, I was wrong. Liverpool did have another season like the previous one, and in fact did even better. They stormed to the league title, and they were absolutely brilliant this season. So well done, Jurgen Klopp. Well done, Liverpool. Liverpool fans, you waited 30 years for the title, and I'm guessing it was worth the wait. So well done. A great season for Liverpool. I get a point for being 1 place out, so I'm now back down to minus 61. But well done, Liverpool. What a great season. Which means in first place, I had...
Which leaves first place going to, of course, Man City. I just can't see Man City being any different from last season, unfortunately. And I think they'll probably end up winning the league by more than the 1 point margin they did last season.
I had Man City, who of course came second. Another point for me, taking my final score to minus 60, I think, in the end. And it just wasn't to be for Pep, although he did find something else to wear on the touchline, so I was right about that. But Liverpool took the title, of course. Again, I wasn't far out with this prediction. But there you go. I think a lot of people also would have had City top and Liverpool second. So there you go. Those were my predictions. Not a brilliant one for me, but you know what? Next season, surely I'll do better than minus 60, although I might tweak my points. I can't tweak it now. I've started it, so I'm going to have to carry on with it. But anyway, let me know how you did with your predictions, what you thought of my predictions in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new here. Please like the video, and I'll be back soon again with some more videos and some parody songs on this channel. And don't forget, the merch is available as well. Link below the video to buy it. Thanks very much for watching. See you again soon.